How you doing, guys? Welcome back to my channel. As ever, it's an absolute pleasure to have you here. So today I'm going to be talking about my recent talk at Brighton Music Conference. So Brighton Music Conference, if you're involved or into dance music in the UK, Brighton Music Conference is basically a yearly event that pulls in all of the top talent from the industry to hold talks and workshops about developing the industry and addressing issues that are very apparent, such as mental health, sexism, all those sort of things, and also designed to help up-and-coming talent to connect with the right people within the industry to progress. So it's a very important event that's held over the course of a week, and it leads into the weekend a little bit, and it's massively important. So when I was invited by Danny Savage from DJ Growth Lab to come and talk about my career as a dance music photographer, like I jumped at the opportunity. I could not wait to be involved, because obviously I've previously spoken at photographic events, but I'd never spoken at a dance music event. And obviously I'm a photographer in the dance music industry. I've covered talking at photography events, and now I wanted to cover talking at music events, to pull them both in as as an influencer, someone who has the ability to talk about a very technical subject within a very specific field. So of course I jumped at the opportunity, and that's since led to me working with DJ and DJ Growth Lab a lot closer. So I'm now collaborating with people like Graham from Data Transmission, Dawley, a very well respected and famous DJ. So all of those sort of things are starting to amalgamate. So I was invited, and one of the most amazing things happened whilst I was there. So the video I'm going to attach to this intro is basically a brief part of my talk. It's not all of it, it's a brief part. And the reason I'm not doing all of it is DJ Growth Lab is designed basically for up-and-coming and aspiring DJs to get all of the tools and resources they need to be able to progress in their career. Now, it's a paid subscription, and it's only available to an exclusive audience, and we want to keep it that way. So I couldn't give away the whole talk, so I've given away just a section of it, because if you are interested in more that was spoken about and the resources that are available, of course it makes sense to go and join DJ Growth Lab, because it will benefit your career as an aspiring DJ. So the amazing thing that happened was, whilst sort of everyone was doing their talks, and I was talking later on in the day, Normanski was there. So if you don't know who this guy is super famous in terms of being a photographer in the 80s going into the early 90s. He had a TV program, prime time BBC, called Dance Energy, so no interruptions, no nothing like that, and it was all about youth culture and dance and dance music. And went and done sort of interviews with DJs and covered the whole acid house, that whole sort of movement in to me, the things that made dance music in the UK what it is today. He played a huge part in documenting that, and has shot some unbelievably famous people. So he has my utmost respect as an artist. He also DJs as well, so every facet that he approaches, like I totally respect him. So to have him in the talk was, he was there. He was going to witness my talk, and I was dreading it. I was literally like, oh my god, like how can I stand here talking about being a dance music photographer when somebody with the highest accolades in the market is sat there. But nevertheless, he was super respectful and really sort of encouraged me on in terms of doing my talk. And I gave my talk, and you'll see a section of it now. But also what happened at the end is, Norman took the chance to tell me what he thought of my talk, and it literally goose pimples to have somebody with that much respect in the industry and that much history behind their name and credibility to speak so highly of me is huge. So I ticked a lot of boxes on that day, and a large part of what I talk about is about my journey from picking up a camera, learning how to shoot, combining my passion for photography with my passion for dance music, and managing my personal brand to get me in front of the right people to be able to get the bigger commissions, to eventually end up shooting the cover of DJ Magazine and shooting for Mix Mag, and being invited to talk at the photography show and being invited to talk at Brighton Music Conference. So I talk a large part about that. I don't always just talk about taking pictures, because to be successful as a photographer you need to understand marketing and using marketing correctly to be able to put your trajectory in the right place. And I'll say to a lot of people, I would consider myself better at marketing than I am at taking pictures, because there's some truly incredible photographers out there that don't sort of get the publicity that I have managed to attain, and a large part of that is just because I know how to market myself effectively. And it's not to say that they don't, it's just, you know, that's my education is marketing, so I combine the two together. So I won't bore you anymore. I'm going to play the clip, and then as soon as I've played the clip of Normanski doing an introduction to himself, and then the beginning part of my talk, I'm then going to attach the clip of what basically Norman was referencing to in terms of what he thought of my talk at the end. So I hope you guys enjoy. If you have any questions about any of the subjects I'm talking about, please do pop a comment below. I'm also going to add some links to DJ Growth Lab. If you're an aspiring DJ, you know, you want to sort of get ahead in the industry and don't really know where to start because it can be quite complex, it's a great resource, and there's some truly incredible people involved in the whole program, and there are some very good case studies already that people who are really excelling just by being involved and following the steps as this program. So Danny, thank you ever so much for inviting me to Brighton Music Conference to talk. Huge privilege, it meant a huge deal to me, and yeah. Enjoy the video, everybody, and I'll catch you soon.
First of all, before we start asking me questions, for those people that don't know me, my name's Normanski. Been in the game for a couple of minutes. Game of music, that is, and entertainment and broadcasting and the arts. Specifically, started off with photography as a music photographer in the 80s. Came through a lot. I'm from London, lived there all my life. And still alive, which is a miracle. I haven't travelled as much as I wished I'd travelled, because it's a bit of a lazy way out, but a lot of people have come to my city, so I feel like I've gotten to know people from all over the world. I've been to a few places, but I've realised recently there's a lot more to see. The reason why I came here to Brighton this weekend was obviously for the conference, and I was given the opportunity to be a moderator on brands in music. Probably the right thing for them to ask me to do, because apparently I am a brand, but then I think people say that about me because of the fact that I've been part of a generation. I had a TV show in the early 90s, which was a very successful show. It was the first TV show of its type in the history of the world, which was Dance Energy. And the reason why I say that is because it was predominantly about contemporary dance music, and in 1990, 91, there was the odd captured feature here and there about these ravers out on the M25 should be banned for life, blah, blah, blah. But really, we had an half-an-hour programme. It was prime time on BBC with no adverts that featured DJs actually on screen, and not just through the speakers or off the radio. So, and of course, a lot of groundbreaking acts that now, a lot of them become incredibly big and not just mainstream, which is a really important part of our movement. So yeah. Yeah, and the other thing I was going to mention was that, talking about what Danny Dawley was saying before, when I threw the question in about, I know some of you here then, he was talking about, you know, being professional really, and how you get your balance, time management, time balance between having a really good time, getting absolutely bollocks, and also doing a good job. And I think the main reason why I brought that up was because I think I did a very good job. My first time I've ever done this conference for the first time, and also, if you like, mediated. Well, I've done that on a level, but this was the first time I've done it at BMC, and it was kind of reasonably full house. The night before, in preparation, I just thought I'll just rock up to Brighton, just get a room, no problem. Big mistake. There was no rooms available, so I improvised as I do. And I went from party to party, after party to after party, friends' houses, to the bus stop, to the conference. I was absolutely smack bag and quite tired. Probably wasn't very professional of me, but fortunately there's 4 professional speakers that were there that I was moderating, so I just let them do all the talking. So first of all, one of the things I just like to remind people is I'm very fortunate. I'm a character, some people just flow with me, but it was a really good idea to really take the shit seriously. I did quite a lot of research. That went out the fucking window when it came to me can't remember shit the night before. So I was bloating a bit, you know, and it's not a bad thing, it's on lawn skiing, blah blah blah, but actually, to be honest, it's really important, you know, to do your research. If you can get early, get into town early, get to places early, when it comes to doing gigs out of town or in another country, or if you're going to go to somewhere where you're trying to get in touch with people. it's always really, really important to find out who that person is, what they do, what they're responsible for, so that when you speak to them, you speak to them, not like they're some generic robot, because people do like to feel like a human being, especially in this technological age that we live in. And on that stage, I don't want any questions. I know you asked me a question because no one ever asked me questions. They always expect me to just give them answers. So if anyone's got a minute, quickly, I'll just dash something at me. Go on. I've been in the game 30 years. One of you must ask me something. That's what we call this. No, there you go.
From your photography days, like what's the standout image? So the one that is almost synonymous with your brand, and one that
still paying royalties.
Yeah, it's a really tough question, really, because I started doing photography seriously when I was 16 and went to college. I say seriously because I took that quite serious. And by the time I was 17, I was working in the industry as an assistant. I believe within a couple of years of that age, it was 1987, I became very big in the hip-hop scene, which is my scene, the street scene, the urban scene in London. I kind of pretty much covered the whole of that, what was going on, so every American act that came in, I photographed. Whilst that was happening, I was also renowned for doing live gigs, so I always remember going to, so I did an exhibition recently, which was called Tales of Normanski. Recently it was August, September, so it was September last year, 2017, and I was invited by Seth Troxler to come and do a show in his restaurant, Smoky Tales, and it's quite an honour to be asked to put your work somewhere. It's one thing to ask people, don't have a show, we're going to get a gig. But when people actually ask you, you take that shit seriously, regardless of who they are, because for some reason they admire what you do, and don't get blasé about it, because that's when you don't, because you can't see yourself, people see what you're doing. So that was a great thing, and we went out here and we did the show, 16 pictures, across the board, De La Soul, that was a magical moment, sells a lot. I was when they were playing live in Brighton in 1987, got them in the back alley, excuse me, got them in the alley, not the back alley. Back up against the wall so don't get the wrong idea. No, I got them in the alley behind Brixton Academy just before they were going to go and stage. About 5 minutes to a photo session with them. And that was quite a mega moment. So that was one. There was Big Daddy Kane's Fall Asleep, big rapper from America. He was fast asleep. I got on his tour bus. Again, you know, I was just around and about. I don't know if I look like a lost puppy. I think I look like a lost puppy when I'm out and about. So their tour manager was like, oh, look, a black guy with a camera, do you want to come with us? So I got on the bus. Imagine never got taken away and nothing. I thought about that then. And there was that moment when it was a bit weird as well. It was like Roxanne Shante, Big Daddy Kane, Biz Markie, they're all fast asleep, jet lag. And I'm sitting there with my eyes open thinking, oh, well, I'm have to take pictures. It's just a bit naughty, and they take pictures while they're asleep. It's a big shot though, because you see Big Daddy Kane not on stage doing his moves and rapping, but actually in real life, it's a big one. Another shot, probably for me, one of my most important shots is the one of Stevie Wonder. And also, alongside that is probably Miles Davis. I haven't shot Miles Davis. I haven't been to a Miles Davis gig. I love all kinds of music. Before we had decks and stuff, I was a drummer in a band, and it was all about live music. To this day, I love live music. And then also, I think when I was about 21, 22, I was doing shots for a promotional company called Martial Arts, and Ray Edwards, one of the guys that worked there, he's really encouraging all the time. So, hey, Normanski, you're really good at taking pictures. We can't pay you, but what we can do is we can give you photo passes to come to our gigs. And they were doing all the R&B stuff, so, you know, like across the board, all kinds of gigs, anything that was like basically black music in the sense of, so I think like Stevie, Lionel Richie, and Tina Turner was the one I was thinking of actually. Tina Turner gig in particular was because if you can get your way to Munich, to the Olympic Stadium in Munich, we'll have a pass for you. Which was quite a journey for me at that time on my own. Couldn't speak German, didn't really know where I was going, and you know, I went there off my own back. I think it was a YTS, there's that youth travel services, wasn't it? Yeah, 18 quid ticket, a bus and a boat and a bus and a train. There was a train and a boat and a train. And I got there anyway, freezing cold, -2 degrees, walking around the stadium, not knowing where the backstage or whatever it was. Got there and I did that shot, and turned out I was on the second day of her live tour, and I was the only photographer. So that was one of my stand-up moments because she was about 60 something, and Tina Turner is like, you know, sorry, there's never going to be another one. I'm right in the pick area. And there's loads of rules you learn, like you can only do the first 3 numbers at live gig, because the people that pay don't just grid to the front, they don't really want to see your head, some photographer's head bopping around. So you have to learn to be really quick and fast. That night I could just do whatever I liked, other photographers. And I got one really good shot from front of the stage, and to say it was a really good shot, because out of respect, the one with her fanny lips. But there is one, and I'm actually capturing it out and got rid of it, because I don't want to have that shot. And then the one that is very famous, where she's there, she's kicking it, I've darkened everything, because the overall picture is incredible. I know in this day and age, a lot of people look at it and go, oh, you can see up her skirt. If you're noticing the center, she doesn't really, it's like a big belt, and she wears a skirt. That's a really important photograph for me, because I've been lucky, I've worked with some of the biggest acts. I've been to see some of the biggest acts that will never, but it's a very difficult question, like asking someone what's your favourite record in your set. There's a lot of stuff, there's like quite a lot of photography, but those are sort of one or two of the standout moments. And Soul to Soul shot Jazzy B when he was coming up. I mean, I always meet people on the way up, and we've all been nice to each other, and it's a really good thing. I might start doing photographs of people on the way down soon. There's an awful lot of people falling apart, not catching it from me. And that's me anyway, thank you, it's been an honour.
As a photographer, I feel massively inferior following that. Like, I'm just like, oh, no, thank you, I appreciate everyone for coming.
We've got someone to
Yeah, sure, it's always. Thanks everyone for sort of getting through this far in the day. Like, really appreciate it. Everyone's still switched on and massively engaged.
We should do like a Tony Robbins jump up in the air.
Star jumps. Come on. So I'm Luke Curtis. If you haven't already heard of me, I'm a freelance photographer in the music industry, and my niche is dance music. Like, I've kind of stuck. I found a pool for myself, and I've just stuck in there. And I didn't always start there. As a photographer, I started off taking pictures of absolutely everything, but going back to my roots, I grew up in London. I've always been a raver. I used to go to Turnmills, The End, Egg, you name it. So like raving was always something that was really close to me. So as I started to hone my skills later on in life as a photographer, I was like, right, how do I merge these two passions? How do I get my photography working with dance music? Because then I'm kind of never working again. I'm following a passion. So that's kind of how it sort of started. But I'll go a little bit more into my story. I've been invited by Danny today, which is really like massively huge for me. Just to talk about personal brand and how personal brand affects you all as DJs and how you relate that back to your EPKs. And basically that's like building your profile online, like your non-verbal profile, which is so huge this day and age. It's been spoken about a lot today, the importance of social media and your visual identity and how can you use the right photography and bio and all that sort of stuff to get it correct. I keep on coming back and forth. Cool, so a little bit about my story. I started off, cool. So my history is marketing. So my education is marketing. I went and worked for Sony for 6 years in their marketing department, and my job was basically training people to sell really technical products. So I get marketing. I've always got marketing. I massively understood it. I was expecting a daughter, and someone said to me, Luke, go and get a camera. Like you never want to miss a part of Isabella growing up. So I went and bought a camera, and lo and behold, I've been taking pictures ever since. So Isabella's 7 years old, and there's a real sort of synergy between how long I've been taking pictures and as she ages. As I said before, I didn't start off in the music industry. I started taking pictures of weddings, people's cars, my mates were bodybuilders. I kind of dabbled in everything to work out what was right for me. And I got my first gig at a place called Unit 17. Anyone ever been to a club like Prism or like Unit 17 or something like sticky carpets, sort of like cheesy feet, £1 shots, like literally it was the pits. But it was a starting point to me, and I realised like I loved the music industry. I love taking pictures within the industry, so that's the route I wanted to go down. And that was like my first professional gig, and from there it kind of like snowballed, and a large part of that come from my marketing background. I was like, okay, right, every time I shoot a gig, how do I then use this to get another gig? So it'd always be about platforming myself and using my personal brand. So whenever I shot something, it was like, right, how do I then contain that? How do I then market it to the next audience and take that next step? And it progressed from there. So it went from shooting at this sticky floor carpet in Ipswich to eventually ended up shooting at Ministry of Sounds. I've shot at Egg, I've shot at Fabric, I've shot at clubs. For me, as a kid, like these are places that I was going to. Some of the times illegally, like the sort of first raves going, and I got the opportunity to go and take pictures of places like this, which was pretty cool. So yeah, it progressed massively. So this is kind of, the sort of images I work. So I've had the pleasure of working for Elro quite a few times, shooting people like Goldfish at Egg, which is, you know, played a huge part sort of in me growing up. Do a lot of work with Social Festival, so shoot all their main gigs. Obviously Nick Felicini, really sort of in cahoots with Carl Cox. He's one of Twitter has DJs, so then the knock-on effect of that is you're then involved with Carl Cox, and you know, sort of it snowballed from this club in Ipswich all the way to being able to shoot things like this, which is unbelievable. And it's sort of like and you use that, you take those images and you're like, okay, right, how do I then use that to market myself to get to the next thing? And from there, obviously I was shooting all of these events, and over time you start to network and you start to build your own personal brand. And one of the things I always do whenever I turn up to a club, you know, you always meet your liaison. I'll make a point of introducing myself, letting them know who I am. When I'm finished, I'll always make a point of saying goodbye, just always crossing my T's and dotting my I's. And then after a while, people start to realise that this guy, you know, he ticks the boxes, he does what he needs to do, he's on time, he delivers the work, he's respectful, and he goes. And then it just progresses. And I met, you know, artist managers, and they say, oh, would you come and shoot our DJ? Would you do a press shot? Okay, cool, it's a bit intimidating. I've never really shot portrait before. How do I go about doing it? And then you start building up the profile in that direction, and you start to change the direction you work. So I went from shooting these massive gigs to then ending up on a hill in Ibiza. So this was the first time Carl Cox played in Ibiza since closing space, and I got the opportunity of shooting him for DJ Mag, and that for me was like, it still gives me goosebumps now to think I started in a club in Ipswich with sticky floors, like being massively underpaid, not really knowing where I was going, but I just made sure I'd done the basics. You know, I made sure I was respectful for everybody, I made sure I marketed myself to the right people, crossed my T's, dotted my I's, and eventually it led to this, and then has continued to sort of progress. And to give you an idea,
Really nice spot for partying, actually.
Pardon?
A really nice spot for partying with the hills behind it.
If you go onto YouTube, this was streamed live.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of scenes with me like creeping behind cars.
I think I saw that when somebody's done a little special effect of it with an arrow going wanker.
Yeah, just like allow them out. And a large part of that goes back to your personal brand. Like your personal brand is so important. Like from the moment you wake up in the morning, how do you get yourself dressed? How do you take care of your appearance? And especially within the dance music industry, there's so much focus on appearance and how you look. To give you a really good example, anyone know Salado? Raise your hands.
Yeah.
One of your mates wore one of those shirts 4 years ago. What would you have said to him?
Really?
Mate, not happening. Go They've made it part of their identity. They've taken that as part of their personal brand. And if you want to take it even further and look at other artists that have really sculpted their own personal brand to something that's absolutely crucial to their success, Deadmau5. Everybody knows the silhouette of Deadmau5. Daft Punk, you know, and some of these will be brought up later. They've managed their personal brand, and their personal brand is fused into their identity as an artist, and it's so crucial. And in marketing, there's these things called touch points, and it's basically how many times somebody who's potentially going to buy your service interacts with you. And they say on average you need about 22 touch points before someone's going to engage and buy it. So you guys as DJs and artists and performers, you need to be putting these touch points out there. You need to be on social media. You need to be making sure you're engaging with your potential audience, which are going to be your venues and your promoters, hitting all these touch points to bring them. So from there, from shooting things like this gives you an idea of some of the people that I have worked with and do work with. Off the back of that Carl Cox thing, a huge privilege. And for me as a photographer, like one of the biggest accolades is getting your work in print. Like that's so important. You know, if you can walk into WH Smith's and pick up a magazine off the shelf and open it up and find your pictures, that's unbelievable. And I got the opportunity to shoot the cover for DJ Mag with Elro. So not only was I walking into a shop and opening a magazine, it was front and centre. Like I'd managed to achieve that from shooting in a club in Ipswich, taking care, crossing the T's, dotting my I's, and sort of managing my personal brand. So people know when he turns up, he's going to deliver every time. He's going to be respectful when he does it, and we can book him and we can make sure that he's going to be professional in that sense. Now I've left DJ Mag. I don't do too much work with them now. I pretty much work with Mix Mag, which is an interesting relationship because Mix Mag is a larger publication on a global scale, and they also span across a wide range of music. So I'm now finding myself shooting grime events and mixing with another blend of music, which is amazing. You know, I went and shot a chap called Mist. I don't know if anyone heard of him. Rapper. This guy had a necklace that was worth 150k and was like swinging it around. Like unbelievable. You mix with a totally different crowd through mixing, which has been great. And that only come off the back of just making sure my personal brand every time I go into a job and come away from a job is all tied up. So as I say, I started shooting events, and eventually those events brought me closer and closer to the artists. And then from working with those artists, I started shooting press shots, and I massively enjoyed it. Like the ability to stand face to face with an artist that one inspires you. I love music, so you know, being able to stand in front of a musician that you love their song. So I recently shot Hot Since '82, and he's like, you know, Dan will tell you, like Daily, phenomenal DJ, and I had the opportunity to shoot him and get to speak to him. You know, this is like someone that I've what's the tune? Walk Around Like You're Bigger Than Prince. Like I've danced that so many times, and all of a sudden you're stood in front of somebody like that. So my work started to transition, and rather than shooting events, I started shooting more and more on a personal basis with artists. So these are just some of the images of artists that I've worked with. Second City, it's had a UK #1. The guys at the Vogue, they've just secured a residency at Amnesia every Thursday this year. The chicken from Elro, George from, I know. Well, the historic thing about that is it's the first non-person to ever go on front of DJ Mag. So normally it's been an artist, and this is the first non-person to go on front of a magazine.
I'm changing my name to DJ Nick.
Nightmare on Wax, so the chance to work with George, Hector, and Hector's like a really interesting one. So basically I was commissioned by DJ Mag to go and shoot their night at Vatus Locus at Village Underground, and I'd be amazing venue, amazing night. If you get the opportunity, go. Very grassroots. It's not about a huge production. It's just about the sound, and it's phenomenal. So I went and shot that, and I got to meet Hector and the Vatus Locus guys, and he had a brand new pair of Yeezys on, and I'm really into my trainers. Like I'm always like, I want to always have like nice trainers. So, oh, you got the new Yeezys, and that's my personal brand. That's something I take care of when I'm like, right, I want to make sure I've got the right trainers for the right look. And, oh, you got the new Yeezys, and straight away we started a conversation, and because of my personal brand aligned with his personal brand, 6 months later I got a call from his agent being like, Hector's in the UK, do you want to shoot his press shots for this year? Brilliant. I was like, this is amazing. It's just that personal brand, like finding alliances within the industry. So yeah, off the back of that, I've got to work with Hector, your Bow guys, I do a load of stuff for. And yeah, it all boils down to personal brand. What your personal brand says about you. You know, what you do on a day-to-day basis to identify yourself as an individual and also as an artist. And the artist part is extremely important. You know, if you turn up to your gigs and walk around like this on a daily basis, you're going to struggle to find yourself in Ibiza Rocks Hotel. You know, it's all about taking care of those little parts. And there is a thing in the dance music industry. You notice a lot of people wear black on black on black, and that's an in thing, and people will replicate that. And to a certain degree, that helps because you then blend in. It's then easier to correlate with that audience, and you know, it's about identifying these things to progress. So that.
We're not sure if the guy on the right's going to get into Ibiza Rocks either.
It's green.
I'll be like, come on. Your daughter's safe with us. Come on, with the wife. Come on, put your on. Jesus. Or get us the Lardo shirt.
So I was going to use a picture of somebody else, and I thought, no, you want two images of the same person, so you get an idea of what good looks like.
I'm not knocking anything I've already heard, but because I've got a connection with this, all my mates on your pictures, all the magazines I've part of it, and your words and your journey so far, completely inspiring me, so much so that I'm already about to rebrand myself using my old logo that I never really used. So honestly, just to let you know, because it sounds like you've not been doing a lot of this stuff. Very, very good at this, and you know, you've got a lot to share, and you know, I've got a lot of love for what you've shared. It's really, really inspirational. Thank you very much.